Hello, hello. Let me get my microphone on. Hello, hello, everyone. This is Jen with Jen's Den Art, and I am here today to gesso my canvases for our pop-up paint party. I am an acrylic artist, and I am going to be teaching a 5-day, it's actually only going to take 4 days, but I'm going to be teaching a 4-session flower pop-up paint party starting tomorrow. And so I wanted to come on today and say hello. Let me see if I can pop this open without making too much noise. Have y'all all say hello. Hello, Miss Sue. So glad you're here. Say hi. Tell us where you're watching from. And we are going to spend a little bit of time in a Q&A here. And I will be answering questions. I will be talking to you about what we are going to be doing or what we are doing today. And yeah, we're just going to chat for a little bit in my studio as I get prepped for our Flower Power pop-up paint party. So I figured I might as well come on live and show you all how I prep my canvases, which is strictly optional. I just wanted you to see what I like to do for some of my paintings. I don't do this for every painting because it depends on the colors that I'm using, but I wanted to show you this right here. Hello, Kathy and Miss Yvonne and Miss Elaine and Heidi. Is that Miss Pat? Hi, Miss Pat. How are you? Yay, I'm so glad you're anxious for the class. So glad y'all are here. Okay, so I went to Michael's. They were out of 10 by 10 canvases, which is this. Okay, this is what I'm going to be painting on, this surface right here. So let me make this bigger so y'all can see. Okay. So this is the surface that I'm going to be painting on. This is a 10 by 10. Let me just move all of these out of the way for you. This is a 10 by 10 canvas. I probably bought this from Blick because of the way that it's finished. I like to buy the ones that are gallery wrapped. Okay, they're not back stapled. However, the ones that I'm going to be using are back stapled because they were out of stock at Hobby Lobby and they were out of stock at Michael's. And so I ended up having to buy paint pouring canvas. So I'm going to be painting on, I guess it's like, I've never bought these before, but my paintings that we're going to be doing, I guess it's almost like a MDF board, I guess. Maybe you've bought these before. But it says perfect for paint pouring, I guess because it's the hard surface. So it's going to do just fine with acrylics because we're not going to be paint pouring. So I wanted 10 by 10s. So I just went ahead. These were the only 10 by 10s that they had in both stores that I checked because, I waited until the last minute. And hello, Miss Sherry and Miss Annette. And Tarita from Oregon, very nice to see you here. And Miss Patsy Fisher. So I'm trying to get this paper off of here right now. The first set that I painted is on, let me get my scissors because this is not working as well as I want it to. The first set that I painted on is just a regular canvas. Just your cotton canvas. You can see the back of it, okay? So I'm going to show you this. This is what this is what I suggest you buy. Now, I want to bring something to your attention first before we start. If your canvas is kind of, if it's not like really wrapped well and it's got some play in it, this is so easy to fix, and I do it all the time with my spray bottle. Where is my spray bottle? With water. So you're going to need a little bit of water Well, I know my spray. Oh, it's right here. So I'm going to spray the back of my canvas. If you have canvas like I do, this is like cotton. You don't have to spray a lot, but just going to let it sit for a little while. Okay, just enough for it to get damp. And you spray the back of it. Okay, I like to spray close to the corners. And then what's going to happen over the next minute or so, it does not take long at all. You know what happens when you wet cotton, it shrinks. Okay, so what's going to happen is it already did it. It made the canvas like much harder. There is no play in it anymore. So it really, really helps if you do that for your, to help, especially when you're painting. So there's not a lot of jumping in your canvas. Okay. So super, super easy. And you can do that to all of your canvases, especially the ones you buy in those bulk packs at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. They're usually kind of loose. Okay. So I would suggest before you paint on them, you go ahead and you spray the back of them and it just tightens it up. It tightens the whole thing up. So it works really, really well. All right. So that's the first thing I wanted to share with y'all. See this one? This one's okay. But I've moved 3 times in the last 6 months. And I have been toting my canvases around in the back of my car. And you know how sometimes your canvases, if they lay against something, they'll kind of like get loose and kind of have like a little stretching in them. So all I do is I take my spray bottle and I spray the back of it and I let it sit. And sure enough, it just tightens it right back up. So keep that in mind. And I've even done this. I've had a canvas before that, because I've moved so much lately, I had a canvas before that ripped. It's a beautiful painting. I don't think I have it anymore. I think I sold it. But it was a beautiful painting, and I'm gonna have to do a DIY on this for y'all. It just ripped, like it made like a little rip in it. So what I did was I took an old canvas that I wasn't using anymore, and I cut a little patch to patch, and on the back of it, I just put that old canvas on top of it, and I Mod Podged it on, and I let it sit overnight, and then I wet the back of it, and I made it tight, and I painted. When I turned it over, I just repainted that area so you couldn't tell, because it was like a 16 by 20 canvas. And it was a beautiful, a painting that took me like all day to paint. I was like, I'm not throwing this away. It's too pretty to throw away. So I wanted to keep it. And so it worked. It worked fine. And I'm going to show y'all that. I'm going to come on one day and show y'all how I did that. So that's just another little trick I wanted to show you. Hello, Miss Sandy. Hello, Miss Pat. Hi, Sherry. Has a tiny little cut in it. Yes, I'll show you how to fix that. It's really not hard at all. Okay, so these are the canvases that we're going to be painting on. And you can see, I don't know if you can see in the camera here. Yeah, you can. You see how some of the paint underneath is orange? That is because I love the look of that. Okay, you see right here on the edges, you can kind of see a little bit of orange, especially when you're painting a beautiful yellow. See how pretty that is? The orange comes through the aqua or the mint color. I'm going to show you this one too. You can see that orange down here. It just really makes the painting pop. And you can see right here on the sides. Now, the sides are not finished, of course, but it just really makes the painting pop. And so that is just a personal preference. And look at this one too. I'm going to show you this one as well. It's when you can really tell that you know, it's a real original piece of art. When you can see things like that in it, you know that, you know, it's real. It's a real piece of art that was painted, and you can see the painterliness in it. So what I did to get that was I actually used white gesso, but I added a little bit of orange gesso. I don't know what I did. Here it is. I don't know what I did with my gesso. Oh, there it is. I got that right there too. Okay, so what I'm going to do here today is I'm going to show you what I'm going to use to gesso my canvas. Now, this is totally optional. It is not anything that you have to do, and it's not even a step that a lot of artists do, okay? But I like to do it because when you're painting on a canvas that has, especially if you're painting on those cheaper canvases that you get in bulk, the cotton has a lot of little, you can see like the texture. It's like really rough to paint on. And so if you gesso your canvas, it just makes a much smoother surface for you to paint on. Okay, it makes your paintbrush move better. It makes your paint move better, and it also protects your canvas. And it's kind of almost like a primer. I'm trying to break through all of these. It's almost like a primer for your canvas. And I love the way gesso works. So that's why I like to use it. But again, it is totally, totally optional. Okay. Hello, Miss Gail and Miss Julie. My fishing one has a small cut in it. Okay, I'm going to show y'all how to fix that. I might come on in a couple of days and show y'all that. All right, so I'm getting all of this paper off of each one of these. And hello, Miss Elaine. All right, let's get these things gessoed for our flower paintings. I'm going to start. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. This is an orange gesso. Okay, it's an orange gesso from Holbein Acrylics. I bought this at Cheap Joe's art store online. I think that's what it's called. I think you can buy this like at blick.com. I'm not sure. But I went to Cheap Joe's and I bought this. It's Holbein, Holbein acrylics. And it is an orange gesso. Now, last time I tried to do this, I couldn't open it. Ugh, I got it. Okay. So I've been having this for over a year, and I still have some in it. So it's super, super bright. And I'm going to show you because I don't want to put a lot. All right. You see how bright the orange is? So what I did when I gessoed my first set was I took my white gesso, and I have a big tub of this stuff. I have about half of it left. I took my white gesso and I used this. This is just a stiff spackle from Home Depot. And I just take some of this gesso here and I put it on here. Now that's a lot. I don't really need that much, but I'm just going to put it on there anyway because I know I have 4 canvases. So I am going to just, isn't that pretty? I'm going to use a little bit of white and a little bit of orange to get that orange. Now, I get this question all the time, and I'm sure some of y'all are asking already. Do I have to use orange? No, you do not have to use orange. You can use white gesso and you can mix some orange paint in your white gesso. Okay, gesso is not acrylic paint. All right, it is made out of something that's not paint. I don't know what it's made out of. I'd have to look that up. But I'm going to cover. I don't like that it's super, super bright. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of muting it out by adding white to it. And then I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to smooth it in. Now, I don't like a smooth surface. I'm going to show you the ones that I finished already. You see how you can see the lines? Let me see if y'all can see it. You see how you can kind of see it on this one? You can see the lines. You can see the texture from the gesso in the paintings. Like the surface, the back surface is, you can definitely see it in this one. See right here? Can y'all see those lines? That's from the lines of the gesso. So and all of this still has texture on it. So the back, the canvas already has texture. See that? I like that. I like the texture in the canvas even before I start painting. See all right here? So I'm going to leave this like this. I'm going to leave it with a few little lines. See how you can see those lines in there? I'm going to leave it like that because I like it. And so I'm going to put it on the side and I'm going to let it dry just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to start on my next one. Now you can just use a paintbrush if you want to use a paintbrush to put your gesso on. I'm going to add a little bit more orange. Oops, that's way more than I wanted. See, you need very, very little orange. See how bright it is? So let me get this other one going over here. Y'all see that one? Let me get some white. You do not need much at all, y'all. And if you want, you could put more than one layer. And some people, I don't do this, but some people, they let their gesso dry and then they sand it down. But I don't do that. I like the texture. I like having the texture on the sides. Okay, can you mix an orange paint with gesso? Yes, definitely. Yeah, I like the lighter orange just because I find the darker orange is it's just a personal preference. I just feel like it's like super, super, like in your face type orange. So that's why I added the white gesso in it. And because I like the texture, I kind of just leave it like this with the roughness in it. So maybe you don't have time today to gesso your canvases, and that's okay. But just make sure if you're going to be painting with us tomorrow, which I highly suggest you watch first. But if you're going to be painting soon, I would definitely give it a few hours to dry. Don't try to paint on it right away. You have to give it time to dry because like my gesso is kind of thick. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that pretty? I like it. It almost looks like a painting already. And I don't gesso the sides. I just don't. I mean, everybody's different. I have gesso all over my hands. I'm a very messy painter, by the way. I get paint all over my hair. I actually still have paint in my hair from our closet remodel. It's not acrylic paint because it won't come out when I take a shower. It's I guess it's latex paint. I don't know. So every time I wash my hair, it's still there. It's been about a month and I still have paint in my hair. Have y'all ever had that happen before? This gesso. I think I spelt it wrong. Gesso. Gesso. Look. Gesso. You do not have to use gesso. You do not have to. You can just use your canvas as is. It's just something that I like to do because I like that. Even if you don't use gesso, if you want that orange pop, just start with a layer of orange paint on your canvas first. And then we can go from there. If not, just start with your white canvas. It's totally up to you. So, just gonna get all of that in there on the edges so I don't have a bunch sticking out. Looks like I got it good there. Okay, this one has the most. I put a lot on this one. It's like hanging over the sides. All right, I'm gonna let these things dry overnight, and then you do not have to worry about transferring before we go live tomorrow. If you want to wait to transfer your template, that's going to be a part of the live. I'm actually going to transfer my templates one day at a time. So when we paint the tulips, I'm going to start with the transfer process of the template, and then we're going to paint the flowers and the leaves. And the last thing we're going to do is paint the background. So we're going to kind of do like a negative finish, if that makes sense. So this is all hanging over right here. Let's smooth that out. Okay, let me see if I have any questions. When I paint the house, I have paint all over my arms, my backside. Yes, I am super, super messy. Light orange. I need to go shopping. If you don't have gesso, what can you use? Yeah, you can just use orange paint. Just paint if you want to use if you want that background to be orange, then just use orange paint. That'll work fine. What's the advantage of painting the background last? No advantage. No advantage at all. It's just the first thing is I do not want the aqua blue to be my background. Oh, I'm right here. Okay. I do not want the aqua blue to be behind my red. I want the orange to be behind my red. Okay. So if I add that ocean green or that turquoise and I put it on top of the orange, then putting the orange defeated the whole purpose of what I really wanted to accomplish with getting that orange to pop through. Okay, so that's why I chose just to paint the flowers first so that I could see that orange come through. And then I just worked my way around the whole thing. Now, when I painted this, I knew where I wanted my flowers to go, but I did not know where I wanted my leaves to go. I kind of made the leaves up on their own kind of, so that's why I chose to paint the flowers and the leaves first and then come back with the background, because I wasn't really sure what the entire shape of my painting was going to be. And I did not want the turquoise to cover up that orange. So I hope that makes sense. You can see how in this one too, I really wanted that orange to be next to the purple. So I waited to do my background after so I can still leave a little bit of that orange to pop through. And same thing with the green. The green and the orange looks really good next to each other. So that's why I waited. And that's just a personal preference. I mean, there's no right way or wrong way. but it's just the way I wanted to do it because I had certain goals that I wanted to accomplish. Okay. So, yeah. And so why do you gesso? You gesso for a few different reasons. You gesso so your paint moves better on the canvas, especially if you have a really rough canvas. I'm going to show you a canvas that I have that's really rough. No, I'm not going to be on much longer. It's up to you if you want to come. Let me see. Okay, so here's one that I know I'm not going to like the painting on this one. Let me move these out the way before I get them all crazy and messy. Put them on my carts right here. Okay, so here's one that I just bought. It is an Artist Loft Level 3 Professional, and what makes it a Level 3 is because I bought the thick canvas here. Okay, it's really thick. So I'm going to show you something on these. And they were buy 3, get 3 free. So they were basically 50% off. All right, now look at the holes on this canvas. Ooh, it smells really good. It's already pre-gessoed. Ooh, I like that smell. It's like wood. It smells like wood. I think it's pre-gessoed, if I'm not mistaken. Heavyweight cotton duck, acid-free acrylic gesso primed. Yes, it's already gessoed. Okay, so it's already primed. However, I know me and I know my process for painting. I want you to notice, this is the back. See how there's a lot of texture in this. And I'm going to show you the front. See how much texture in this canvas? Some canvases you buy have a lot of texture in them, and some canvases don't. It just depends on the quality of the canvas. I don't like that much of those little beady, like I just don't like it that much. So I know that I'm going to come with this. I don't know what color I'm going to do. I usually do white or orange. I don't really usually do that much different. And I'm going to come and I'm going to make it just a little bit smoother for me. And I'm going to show you. Sorry about the noise. I'm just using a palette knife. And I'm going to show you what it does. But then now, see how it adds a layer on top that's going to make it smoother. For my paintbrush is going to move better. My palette knife is going to move better. And not only that, it protects the cotton. I know it says it's already pre-gessoed, but sometimes we just like to gesso it ourselves as well. And that's just a personal preference. Okay, it protects it. It's almost like a primer, and it protects that cotton. And it helps the paint. It's like a barrier between the paint and the cotton, and it stops the paint from being absorbed into the cotton. Okay, so you can gesso if you want. You don't have to gesso. It's totally up to you and what you want to do, but that is something that I like to do. I don't do it all the time. Sometimes I'm just like, especially when I'm doing my my membership paintings, sometimes I'll just pull. I'm like, okay, I'm painting on an 11 by 14, and I'll just pull the canvas and I'll go live and I'll start painting with everybody. And it's just a canvas from the shelf. And I didn't do any prepping for it. So, but yeah, for these paintings, the ones that I kind of hold special in my heart, I like to make sure I do some gesso on them. So the person who said she's coming, what am I using for gesso? I'm using this stuff, Artist White Gesso from Blick. That is what I'm using. And then you can buy gesso in all different kinds. You can just go in if you go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's, if you have like an art store or something like that, a craft store around, go in the professional paint area where you see the big canvases and the individual paint brushes and the tube paints. It's usually all the way in the back of the store. It's not where the craft bottle paints is. It's in the professional art side. Okay. So go there and you'll find all kind of gessos. You can find the no-name brand to the, you know, the top name brands. So I don't have a preference. I just buy whatever's on sale at the time. So somebody else said, do we use square or rectangle? I am using 10 by 10s. That is what I've decided is what I'm using. So it's totally up to you. But that's what I'm going to be using. And that's what the templates are made for as well. So if you want to use the templates, you may want to do a 10 by 10. Do you know if the better canvases are still on sale at Michael's? I'm not sure. I bought these, what's today? Thursday. I think I bought these Monday. So usually if it happens like in a week, maybe within that week, they're still on sale. All right. So yes, we are using square. Okay, guys. Tomorrow, I'm going to be coming on at 3 o'clock. Michael's going to be with me. And we're going to start with this one. Okay, we're going to be starting with this one. So I would make sure if you're painting live with me, I would make sure that you have these oranges and reds and yellows, and then of course your greens. And then we're going to do the whole thing. We're going to do all of the flowers, and we're going to do the background as well. So all of these colors that you see in here are going to be used tomorrow. I am so excited. I hope y'all are excited too, because it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be super fun. I cannot wait to spend more time with all of you, and I hope you are all ready, and I can't wait to see what you all come up with. And I am now trying to get all of this gesso off of my hands. It is so exciting, Miss Shay. I love these paintings. It's probably some of my favorites that I've done. So I'm looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. Y'all are ready? Yay! Woot woot! This is going to be fun. Bring on spring. I love it. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get my canvases all put aside so I don't mess them up tonight. I'm gonna put them on my shelf over here and get them ready to dry. And I cannot wait to meet with y'all tomorrow. We will be in the private Facebook group, the Flower Power Pop-Up Paint Party Facebook group. If you're not in that group, make sure you get in there as soon as you can. It's called Jen's Den Art Flower Power Pop-Up Paint Party. That is the only place that we will be going live because this is a paid private event. So make sure that you are in there if you want to participate in these paintings. All right? Okay. Will you show us a canvas gessoed? Here you go. This is my canvas gessoed. Can you see that? Or let me show you right here. Oh no, right here. Sorry. That's my canvas gessoed. I used orange because I like to use orange. And it's still wet. Okay, guys. We'll see y'all next time. See you tomorrow. Bye.